Are you buying a new home in Minnesota and you don't know whether you should buy an existing home or go the new construction route? Well, before you make that decision, just know that one of them is much cheaper than the other one. Which one is it? Stay tuned to find out. What's going on, guys? Brandon Archie here, aka your favorite Minnesota realtor, and today I'm going to be giving you guys 5 reasons why buying a new construction home in Minnesota is cheaper than buying an existing home. But first, as always, before we get started, if you are thinking about moving to Minnesota, whether it be now or next year, then shoot me an email at brandonarchie@kw.com so that we can schedule a phone call to go over what it is you're looking for and put together a plan to make your move as smooth as possible. And if you are finding videos like this useful, please consider subscribing. Now, let's get started. Okay, so you've probably already gathered by now that buying a new construction home in Minnesota is less expensive than buying an existing home in most cases. And while this may actually sound pretty backwards, there are actually a few logical reasons why. And just to make sure we're clear, I'm by no means saying that buying an existing home is always expensive, but there are some very clear benefits to buying a new construction home. Now, the first benefit is that there isn't any competition. Minnesota, just like mostly everywhere else, has been super competitive over the last handful of years, although it has slowed down quite a bit this year. But most homes were selling in multiple offers and for above asking price. But with new construction, this is pretty much a non-factor, and the reason being is because when you buy a new construction home, you literally just go up to the sales office in the community that you want to be in with your real estate agent, take a look at what's available, and make your pick. It isn't like buying an existing home where multiple people are bidding on it and you have to fight to the death to see who gets it. Survival of the fittest. And if you buy a spec home, which is a new construction home that has already been built and ready to move into, then you can move in as little as a couple weeks from picking the house. Now, keep in mind though that when you buy a spec home that you're essentially buying a house that the builder has already built. So if you're looking to make upgrades or custom choices, you won't be able to do that with the spec home. Now, if you want to build a home from the ground up though, then you will have a little more say in what finishes there are and what floor plan you use, but just be prepared to wait about 6 months for it to be completed. Either way though, new construction has a clear advantage in skipping the competition and saving you a bunch of money. And your sanity. Now, the next way that new construction is cheaper is the fact that a lot of builders here in the Twin Cities offer incentives to buyers if they use the builder's preferred lender and title company to buy the home. Now, these incentives can come in the form of money towards closing costs, reduced interest rates, or both. Now, while interest rates were at 7% for a while, a lot of builders here were offering interest rates as low as 5%. And that 2% reduction could equate to a few $100s a month savings on your mortgage. Leave a comment below on what you would do with an extra few $100s a month in your pocket. Now, obviously the reduced interest rate alone would make buying a new construction home worthwhile, but the money towards closing costs is also a big factor as well, especially for people that may only be able to afford the down payment and don't have an extra $10,000 for closing costs as well. And just imagine what you could do with an extra $10,000 in your pocket on top of saving a few $100s a month on your mortgage. Now, one thing about these incentives to note is that every builder is different and these incentives may depend on the area you're buying in, the time of the year, and other factors. But if you're curious about what current incentives are, then you can reach out to me and I can give you a list of what's currently being offered. Now, the third benefit is that new construction will also be cheaper the first year that you own it because of property taxes. Now, the property taxes will be lower because the first year it's a brand new house in a brand new community and the property taxes on it haven't been calculated yet. So that process usually takes about a year or so, meaning that the amount that you pay on your mortgage for that first year of owning the home will be a little lower than what it'll actually be once those property taxes are calculated the following year. Reason number 4 is that new construction homes typically appraise for a little bit higher than what you pay for them, meaning that you'll usually have a little bit of equity built in right off the bat. And if you buy a home with an unfinished basement, there's typically room to add another bedroom and bathroom, which will increase your equity exponentially. How do you spell that? Once you finally finish the basement. Now, buyers that are looking for a good deal can't beat this benefit, and you're already setting yourself up to make a lot of money in the long run if you ever decide to sell it. And before we get to the final reason, if you are finding this video useful, then please make sure to hit that like button to help this video find others like yourself that may need this info as well. And if you'd be so kind, please consider subscribing. Now, the final reason may be an obvious one, but the last reason why new construction is cheaper than buying an existing home is because it's brand new. Now, when you buy an existing home, in most cases, you're buying a home that has had multiple owners and is 10, 20, 30, or if you're buying a home in Minneapolis, even 100 years old. There's no telling what could be wrong with it or what potential repairs could be coming up in the future. And even if you get a home inspection, there are still things that can happen, like something being behind a wall that an inspector can't see. And while major issues that cost a lot of money may be rare when buying an existing home, the fact of the matter is, they can still happen. Now, when you buy new construction, you know that everything in the house is literally brand new, and the chances of something not working anymore are very, very slim. All of your appliances, your HVAC system, your roof, your electrical, and everything were literally just put in, and that alone will give you peace of mind to know that you won't have to worry about any major home repairs for a very long time. Not to mention that here in Minnesota, new construction homes come with a warranty that covers any major defects called the 1-2-10 warranty. Now, for the first year of homeownership, the entire home is covered for any workmanship related issues. So for example, one of the most common ones are nails that pop out of the wall from the home settling over time. Let's say the shingles on the roof start to curl or come off, the drywall tape on the ceiling starts to crack. All of those and similar issues are covered for that first year, and all you have to do is put in a work order with the builder and they will come out and fix that for no cost to you. No cost to you. Now, the first 2 years cover all the mechanical, plumbing, and electrical items. So if your furnace stopped working, your AC isn't cold, your dishwasher stops running, or your pipes start leaking, all of those items are covered for 2 years after you buy the home. And lastly, the one that people are the most concerned about are the structural items. Now, anything that has to do with the structure of the home or the foundation are covered for 10 whole years after you buy the home. Meaning if the house starts leaning because of settling, your driveway starts to sink, you have a giant crack in the basement, all of those things are going to be covered. Obviously, I'm being dramatic about the house leaning, but you get my point. Foundation issues are probably by far the biggest potential cost that a homeowner can... I'm over here stuttering like Joe Biden. Now, foundation issues are probably by far the biggest potential cost that a homeowner can come across, and when you buy new construction, you don't even have to think about these things for at least 10 years after you buy the home. Now, as you can see, buying new construction can not only save you money out of pocket when you buy the home, but also will continue saving you money for years after. So, which one are you going to choose?